and welcome to Fava Conversation on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. I am your host, Alina Chung, and we are happy to be here again. We are alive, we are well, and we are basking in empowered 2022. This is a year 2 months deep. We're deep into 2022. 2 months already. I can't even believe it. We're on the last week coming up this week. But it's been an awesome time. It's been an awesome time, and just embracing God for this whole new year and seeing the new things he wants to do with us and seeing the new places he wants to take us and trusting in him, hearing from him and resting on him. It is an awesome thing to be in the presence of God. I want to thank you for being here and allowing us to be in your home to have this conversation with you today. And it's an awesome privilege, and we thank you for it. As usual, we've started our campaign, our Fava Reach campaign, and you see it in almost every program now. We're going to try to promote it this year because we're on a mission. It's a huge mission, but we're going to do it. And every time I say this, when I first came up with all these, I would say come up with it. I truly believe that God puts these things on my heart, because sometimes I'm just like, okay, there's a problem, and you just contemplate it, and God gives you all these different ideas. So Fava Reach was simply something that all this came out of COVID, by the way. It was just everything. And that's why I tell people, use situations, no matter what they are, they're working for your good, not against you. It could be grim, it could be uncertain, it could be all kinds of crazy, because the last 2 years have been crazy. But God uses all things to work for our good. And so when I came with Fava Reach, I was like, oh God, we need something to help people, to boost these young kids. I'm seeing all over the news, they're getting caught up in stuff, and God just gave it to me. And so the more we work on it, the more I work on it, the more I get all these, and God gives me all these different ideas. And so this year we are promoting Fava Reach because we are on a mission. And like you saw our promotion, it's to change lives, it's to break chains, it's to break yokes, it's to deliver people from slavery in their minds, in their bodies, in their spirits, whatever it is. We are on a mission to set some people free. And the more I get into it, and the more I see the news, the more I realize, oh my God, this thing is needed. I mean, sometimes you think, well, whatever God gives an idea, it's not as big as this one and that one and all the other. But the more I hear the news, the more I realize people do not know their value. People do not know the value, the high value, not just the value, the high value that God places on their lives and their purpose and what they're here for. And so when you don't know who you are, you settle for a whole bunch of mediocre mess. And that's what's going on in the world today. And even us that know our values, sometimes the devil will send some things at us, and it'll make you start to question, well, probably I'm a little thinking a little bit too big. And probably I'm just, and then you realize, no, the God I serve is a big God. So I can't be thinking too big, because his thoughts are even bigger than my thoughts. So then I'm really on the right track if I want to be like him, because I was created in his image and his likeness. And it's just an awesome thing to know God. And the older I get, the more I see different things, the more I realize, God, I'm so thankful for the gift of salvation. I'm so thankful that I had enough sense to accept the gift of salvation and to walk in it, because it has preserved me from so many things. And that's what people don't understand. What God has for you will preserve you from the devourer, from the plans of Satan, from the attacks of Satan. You know what to do. You know how to handle yourself when the devil comes at you, because he's going to come. I mean, if there's one thing you're guaranteed in life, there's a God and there's a devil. And but all you know is if you have God on your side, he's got your back, and the devil cannot defeat you. And it's important to know that and to thank God for that. And so we're on a mission to get some people delivered, to get some people saved, to get some people financially free, to get some people spiritually free, mentally free, all that good stuff. We're on a mission. And it's a huge goal of $1 million, but we are on a mission to do it. And we're going to do it authentically, because when we talk about today, we have to talk about authentic. And our subtopic today is empowered integrity. And that's where it's coming from. Because when I start talking, it's going to be that people are doing all kinds of things now, and they're not authentic. And so they're tainting a lot of good things that are being done. And we're going to make sure in our lives that we are not some of these people. So we're going to talk about that later. But Fava Reach, get on there, get on our website, favorofagreatgod.com. Get on there, click, get your QR code, scan it, Go straight to it, give it, whatever it is. We'll take anything, $5, $1, $2, $3, $1,000,000, whatever you have, we'll take it. But you know that when we get it, we're going to make sure something good happens. There ain't no trickery and all kinds of stuff going on that I didn't even know these things could happen. But apparently some people are thinking, but they're thinking the wrong way. That's why you got to get your mind thinking on the right things. Their mindset is off. So the things that should be good, they're taking it and making a mess of it. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. But get on there, buy our products. Proceeds from our products are going to go towards Fava Reach. If you want to donate straight to Fava Reach without buying product, we'll take that too. We'll take anything. But we are on a mission to deliver some people and get them on the path to divine, true, authentic success. Not success that makes you want to show off what you have to other people and makes you want to steal so you can make yourself appear better to other people. Now, that is not true success. That is just success getting ready to be exposed. And you're always afraid and you're hiding and you're sneaking because you're not authentic. And that's what we're trying to avoid. If we understand our values, you don't need to do trickery. You don't need to be fake because you understand that you are the real deal. God created you to be the real deal. And if you understand the God that you serve, you realize that you don't have to do things to impress people. You don't have to steal things to impress people. You don't have to wear the best things to impress people. That's not what is impressing anybody. Being your authentic self is what's going to impact people. Being your authentic self is what's going to get people to the place where they can find God's love and understand who they are and be liberated and free to be everything God has called them to be. But you don't have to do all these crazy gimmicks to get it. So that's what we're going to talk about. So don't forget Fava Reach. Get on there, favorofagreatgod.com. Support. We have all kinds of stuff going on, and we want to reach you. We want to impact you. We want to impact you for the kingdom of God so you can become who God has called you to be. Praise God. Okay, remember our year for the whole of 2022. Empowered 2022. That's what it is. Empowered 2022. The whole year is your opportunity to do great things, to change the courses of your life if it's going in the bad direction, bring it on the right path, to increase your reach, to increase your impact in the earth, that God will be glorified and you will be blessed. That's what it's all about. While we're here, that's what we're about. Mind your business, mind the business that God has given you to do so you could be who he has called you to be, and you can impact who he's called you to impact. Oh my God. Okay. Now to our topic for the day, our subtopic, empowered integrity. First thing we're going to look at is the word integrity. The word integrity means the quality of being honest and having strong morals, moral uprightness. And they have an example here. It says, he is known to be a man of integrity, or she is known to be a woman of integrity. And then the other part that got me that I never really thought about was the state of being whole and undivided. The state of being whole and undivided. I never thought about that. And that's really true. If you're a whole and not divided, you won't be trying to be what you're not. You won't be trying to do different things that are not right or in accordance with who you are. You will be on the straight path, doing one type of thing with one type of character, and everything will be straightforward. As opposed to you doing this over here and being this over here. Two different persons in one. That's not what God wants. The state of being whole and undivided, empowered integrity. That's what we're going to talk about. And what got me on this topic is my goodness. I mean, I love my Netflix. I hope you all love Netflix. Some of their movies, I have to tell them, though, the language is a little bit much. But I love some of the movies. I watched some of them. And the one that got me was this true story. And it happened in 2018. But I never heard about it. I never heard about it. It was about this young girl, Anna Delvey. Now, first of all, I'm like, how did I miss this? Because I always catch up on things like that because it just amazes me, the crazy that's going on. So she was this young girl that claimed to be a German heiress, rich German heiress from Germany. And she was in the States and she was acting like she had all this money when she really didn't. Apparently, she was defrauding people. She was getting money from people. She was saying every time she'd go to a hotel, this expensive hotel. And I'm like, the money you got, if you had just gone to one apartment and take your time with your money, you probably would have done a lot better. But no, she had to impress. It was all about her impressing people to show that she was this rich, famous woman, and that was her thing. She wanted to be famous. So she would go to these top of the line hotels in New York and all over the world and spend millions of dollars that she didn't have, but she was defrauding from people. And she was using their cards, and I don't know where she was getting the money from, but she would get the money and have people believing she was rich, and she was with the rich and famous in these places, and she had a way of getting people to pay for her, and she would have a way of living in people's homes. That's the first thing I was like, if you're rich and you have to be at people's homes, I mean, even if they're rich and they're supposed to be a friend, that's a red flag to me. Because if you have money, I don't think you'd want to be in people's homes all the time, just living. And then saying, if you ask her for money, well, my dad hasn't wired the money. I'm not on good terms with my dad, so I'm waiting for him to wire some money to me. And I'm like, girl, but nobody thought to check into the child and find out who. First of all, I want to see the picture of your parents. I want to meet your parents, and I want to see if what you're saying is true. Nobody thought. They just went on what she said. And she went through the whole, for years in the States. And one of her friends finally caught up to her, because she ended up having to cover the credit card for thousands of dollars that she didn't have, because she was supposed to take them on this trip and pay for the trip, and she didn't have any money, and so the friend had to pay for the trip, but she used the company's card, and now she was in trouble with the company, and she couldn't get the money from the girl, so she was so mad she brought her to the police so she could get her money. And that is one of the ways they brought her down. 26 years old. I'm like, and this girl, but the thing that got me is that she was so confident. That's what a lot of people were saying. She was so confident. You would never think that she was not rich and famous, because she was working along with them. She was walking with them. She was talking with them. She was dressing like them. Nobody knew where she got the clothes from. But nobody thought to check. And then she finally got arrested. They put her in jail. I think she got out in February of 2021. And ICE got her, and they had her ready to deport her. And I guess by now she's deported, because because they said her visa expired. She was here in a visitor's visa. Let me tell you something. This is crazy. But that got me. I'm like, how can this be going on? All these people around it, and nobody is checking the authenticity of the girl, but they're her friends. Because she was spending big money. She was buying all the dinners for them and spending all this money for buying them clothes. So they got caught up in what she was giving them. And they never checked her authenticity. That's what I'm talking about today, integrity. And sometimes we get caught up in what people think, or the perception. That's why some people create perceptions, but they're not real. That's why God is giving you empowered value. That's why I keep saying, when you know who you are in God, you don't have to get perceptions, because you're linked to the real deal. When you understand that, you won't have to do all these crazy stuff to try to be the real deal, because you're supposed to be. It's only when you don't understand who you are that you have to do that. And her parents were loving parents in Germany. They were hardworking parents. They were middle class, and they did well. But when they talked to the mom's like, we don't know where she got that from. She had a brother and everything. She said she just has always been strange as a child, and she did all this stuff, and we don't know what she was all over the place saying her father didn't like her, and they were mad at her, and they didn't want to send her any money and all this kind of stuff. And the people were just regular people living their wonderful lives, and just didn't understand why their daughter was doing what she was doing. But it took a reporter that had to say, I got to dig into the story. Because she's like, nobody has checked to see what this girl is about. She actually took herself and she said, you all need to fly me to Germany, because I got to meet her parents. I want to go and see what's going on, because this is too amazing to even make sense. We have to get to the depth of it. And if she hadn't done that, nobody would have known. And this girl was here playing up. She went to the biggest of the biggest banks in New York and almost got $40 million to do something that she said, a business that she was starting. But nobody checked her authenticity. They would just say, okay, give her the money. They're like, what? Have you checked to see if she does have a mom or dad? If her mom and dad do have the money she's saying they have to give her, have you checked? Nobody checked. And in life, that's how our lives have to be. We have to be so connected to God that we are not just going around bamboozled by anything that goes, and we're not checking. You have enough internet. You have everything at your disposal to check and see what's going on. So that's what, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I've got to talk about this. Empowered integrity. So here she was, and she's such a smart girl. And that's why they were saying she's 26 years old. She bamboozled the biggest of these big grown rich men all over the place, and they didn't even see it. 26 years old. So that means she's a very intelligent and creative. If she had put all the ideas she had and done a legal business and gone about everything the legal way, got a job because she was working at a big fashion company, magazine, I think it was. And that's how she got to the States. And when she got here, she just left the job and just stayed. It's not funny, but it's fun. She just stayed. And when she stayed, she did all, she created the whole, invented, that's why they call it the inventing of Anna, the invention of Anna, whatever. So she invented this whole situation with the whole, she created names and everything and stayed. Whereas if she had kept on working hard, she had done a business like all of us are doing, working hard, she could have probably had that business, probably made a whole bunch of money and didn't have to have it taken away from her. That's why I tell people, if you do things the right way and you don't cheat, you will never have to worry about somebody coming to take it from you because it's yours authentically. You worked hard for it. And that's why it's important for us to walk in integrity. Integrity keeps you empowered and strong in every way. Let me look at the scripture that I got for today. It's in Proverbs. I got two of them. Proverbs 11:3, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. The integrity of the upright, and hopefully you're upright today, shall guide you. It will guide you to do the right things, no matter what comes your way. But the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. That's what happened to her. Instead of doing it the right way, she just kept doing it the wrong way until she ended up in jail and lost everything, her friends, her money, everything. Proverbs 20 and verse 7, the just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after. Your children will be blessed after you if you walk in integrity. If you don't walk in integrity, your children are going to have a whole bunch of shame following them all down the line to God knows when, how many generations. Walk in integrity. It's cheaper. It's safer. It's happier. I keep telling people, if you follow those paths, no matter what comes your way, when you get what you get, you won't be able to be, people won't be able to come and take it away from you, put you in jail because you've been doing some crazy. And all this stems from lack of integrity, being envious of other people, wanting to be like other people, wanting to go into the peer pressure. You want to look, you don't need, and now you don't need to be like other people. Just be you. Whatever they have, be thankful they have it and thank God for what he's going to bring to you. And you work hard. But when you do all these things, for what? And with the internet, everybody's caught with the internet because now everybody can be on the internet and they can have a little fame here and there. And nothing's wrong with a little fame. As a matter of fact, in business, like, because I have trying to be in my like small businesses, whatever, when you're trying to build a business, you need people to see you. You need to be out there so people can buy your products, so people can be able to see what you have and be able to be impacted by the value you bring to them from your product. So like we have our Power Value Forum courses. We have our creations, our different products that we have on our website. We have all these different things, but it's supposed to impact people. And so you need to be seen sometimes so they'll know that you even have something. So it's a wonderful tool and it's free. And a lot of people are benefiting from it. But at the same time, don't take that wonderful tool and make it into a negative tool that you're using to defraud people, that you're using to bring down people. Some people are using it to bully people and causing them to want to kill themselves. Because why? They are not walking in integrity. And that's why I like that part about being divided. You're divided. You're in two people. You want to be good and you want to be bad. So nobody knows who you are. And so that's why you can have integrity. When you walk in wholeness, people are like, okay, this is what I'm getting. When I see her, I know what she is. I know who she is. I know what she stands for. And it makes me feel good because I can trust what I'm seeing. I can trust being with that person. And that's what integrity is. But when you don't have integrity, everybody, but what part of her am I going to see today? Is it going to be the Jekyll or the Hyde? What are we going to get today? Somebody tell me. And that's how it goes. And so nobody can trust you. Nobody know what they're going to get. So they're just like, okay, whatever. So then you can't get anything done. Nobody wants to do anything with you because they can't trust you. Empowered integrity. So when you want to get all this fame, I'm going to tell young people, when you get all this fame and this power and all that, you better be integrous. Is integrous? I think that's a word. Full of integrity. I think it's a word, integrous. You better be full of it. Because a lot of people, they get the fame. It's like she got the popularity and the fame, But if you don't have the integrity, you're going to lose in a heartbeat, because people are going to see right through you, and they're going to be like, oh my God. And then the fall is even bigger, like her fall. And I'm like, oh my God, how did I never hear about this girl? But 26 years old, because we have so much at our disposal right now. The internet. She was using the internet, like Instagram was her friend. I mean, she was all over the Anna Delvey, and she would take pictures of the rich and the famous. And it's a wonderful thing. Don't get me wrong. I never knock people for their success, their money, or anything. Everybody wants to be blessed financially, emotionally, spiritually. But seeking fame as opposed to having an impact, a good impact on people, is not a good thing. It's not just, oh, I want to be famous. What do you want to be famous for? What is the fame coming for? Make it about, I want to impact people in a positive way. I want to change lives. If you go about life with that in mind, then success will come to you all the time, because you want to bless people. It's not about you and how you look and whether you look this and that. And you need to look good. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't go acting crazy and get yourself all messed up, all in, and your face is torn up. No, you need to make yourself look good and presentable. But don't make it about appearances and who I know and who I don't know. And oh my God, it's not about all that. If you have that, it's fine. But make sure you have a good heart. Make sure you walk in integrity. Make sure you're walking in love. Make sure you're walking in peace. Make sure people are blessed because of you. Make sure when you walk in there, people can say, okay, I know this person, and she is the same way today as she was yesterday. And every time they meet you, they're meeting your authentic you. Not a crazy facade that you make up so people can like you and you can get famous and you can get money and defraud people. When you're thinking that you have to steal from people to make yourself something, you have already lost all your integrity. You have no idea who you are. You have devalued yourself to such a low state that you feel like you have to steal from people to be something. You're already something. You were created something. You were created to be the person that God created you to be, with all the value in the world that empowers you. You don't need another thing to be empowered or to be valuable. God gave it all to you already. So when you think you have to steal from people to get it, you've lost the whole thing. You've lost your perspective, and you've lost focus. And so now you're going down a path that's going to lead to destruction. That's what it says right here in the Bible. The transgressor, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. It destroyed that little girl, 26 years old. I'm not sure what she's doing now, but she's going to have to remake her life in a whole different way, because she messed it all up. Walk in integrity. And I saw another movie about, okay, now, I haven't finished this one, about this young boy. And he got caught up in a life of crime and violence in Europe from the time he was like about 12 years old, because his family was messed up. His dad was abusing his mom, and he had nowhere else to go. He needed money. People were coming to threaten his dad that they're going to bring his mom into prostitution if he didn't pay his bills. So the little boy went with these gangster boy, like it's kind of mafia. I'm not sure what they call them over there. And from a little boy, he was killing people. They called him born killer, natural born killer. And they brought him into this world with them, and he was an assassin for them. And he was into his adulthood. And I'm like, oh my God, a little kid. Our kids are under major attack. And we have to understand, when we see children now, it's not just saying, well, they're kids. They're under major attack, because first of all, they're exposed to way more than we were at their age. I mean, I was not too long ago. I mean, I'm not that old, but it's still more than we had. This phone right here that you have in your hand, you could do anything with that phone. I mean, I almost forgot to tell you about the part. I mean, so she had back to the Anna Delvey. She had this man. The banks would call this man to find out, can we get some funds? And she said, it's my dad's banker or whatever, and she wants to get some funds. So they would call him and tell him, is the funds available? He said, yeah, I'll wire it to you. So they kept calling the man, but they said, but who are we talking to? She was the one. This is not funny, but I was blown away by this story right here. There's an app on your phone that can disguise your voice. So she was speaking to the app and sound like an older man, like sophisticated man. And she would be telling the man all this stuff, and they thought it was distorting her voice. So they thought they were talking to her man. I'm like, but who They need to go and check them. That the first thing is they need to go and check the man that keeps telling them that she's going to get the money and he's going to wire them. What man is that that's telling them that? Because that's what would make them believe that she was really a wealthy person. When they finally showed down, like one of the episodes, the later episode, she was speaking in an app that distorts your voice and telling the man all this stuff and money that was coming, said the wire is coming to you. And they believed her because it sounded like a real man. This girl had the scheme going from top to bottom and she was not stopping. And that's what I'm telling you. When we have all these things available to us and they're all there for good, for creativity, productivity. I mean, I love all of them because if we didn't have some of these apps, the kind of money we'd have to pay to get any advertising, any marketing or anything done would be humongous. The different apps have changed the game for so many people like us who want to go into your business, you want to be who God called you to be, you want to be impacting in the earth. It has changed the game and we love it. But there's always some one or two here and there that's going to try to use it to do crazy. And that's what happened. We have to pray for the children. Because what took people back in the day a whole 20, 30 years to get involved in, they can get involved in it from the time they're 10, 12, 13, because there's so much at their disposal for free. So that's why we need to pray for our kids. We need to train up our kids. We need to tell them the difference between right and wrong. Stop thinking they're little babies and like, oh, they don't need to hear that. They have already heard it in school, in case you don't know. I mean, I was worked with some daycare at one point in the business office, and the kids were getting involved in stuff in kindergarten. We're like, well, what kind of hot mess is kindergarten the first grade? One of them. We're like, what in the world? The things they were saying, and they had to put them on suspension. I'm like, how do kids know these things at that age? Because they hear it on TV, they hear it at home, they hear it in their friends, when they go to home with their friends, they hear it everywhere. So it's no longer us thinking they're naive and foolish. As a matter of fact, they may be smarter than a lot of the adults. That's what I'm coming to believe. If a 26-year-old can do that much damage in the major institutions of the world, because most of them are in Wall Street. She was running Rashad through Wall Street. She ran Rashad through Wall Street. I am here in my business trying to get funding for all these different things and Fava Reach and all this. And I know what it takes to do all that stuff. And this girl was able to get it from Wall Street, not from any little. She was in the heart of the financial district of the world, and they were giving her money. That's how manipulative or whatever it is you want to say. I don't know if that's a sales. I don't know what that is. And she was getting money from them like nobody's business because she knew what to do. That means she's intelligent. But instead of using her intelligence with integrity, she was using it to defraud people. And that brought what? Her destruction. Empowered integrity. When you don't use it, you bring about your destruction. No matter what you want to get to, where you want to get to in life, whatever it is you want to do. There's always going to be a temptation to go the little shady way, do the little shortcut, do the little whatever. Let me tell you something. When it comes to the devil, I bind you in the name of Jesus. You will not take from me what God has for me, because that's what he's coming for. If you hear the devil tell you that, he's coming to steal from you, because he knows once you go down that route, you are going to get caught. And so everything you have worked for will be taken from you. I'm going to take a clip from a little thing from Spike Lee's movie. Do the right thing. Because when you don't, you are at everybody's mercy. One person says something and you got to cover that whole thing up, because why? You done messed up and you don't want to own up to what you did. Own up to it. And it's not an easy thing. That's why I try my best to do something and somebody don't want to say it. Be like, oh, I'm sorry. I own up to it. I'm sorry. And I've learned to do that quick, because if you don't and other people find out before you own up, that's when your problems start. If she had owned up to it and just stopped, she would have been good. But she just kept going. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? And people, if somebody, you did all that for so long and people are giving a million, I don't know where, this thing is so fun. I don't know where she got millions of dollars. This little girl, for her to take, if I was, you get the money, you go to a little apartment, not a little, just you can get a decent apartment in New York for the money she was getting. But she is staying in the biggest of the hotels, like $15,000 a night, $10,000 a night. I'm like, if you just go in a regular place, you could have probably made it with some of the money, because she got millions of dollars. This girl's wearing Prada and Gucci and Louis and everything name brand. And she had the money, but she was spending it like nobody's buying things for people and buying that. I'm like, if you had just gotten the one and you rested, you'd have probably been good and be able to start your business and keep going. But no, she kept on going. And that's what the devil will tell you. He'll never tell you to stop. Okay, you did this, you got away with it long enough. Now hold on to what you have and sit your behind down and rest. And do it the right way now. So probably the money you got, at least it can get you somewhere. He's going to tell you to keep on going, because nobody's going to catch you. You're just going to keep going to that mess and nobody's going to catch you. And it took her friends to catch her. And when she couldn't pay the friend back, the friend had to take her to call the police and tell them, I need you to catch this girl, because I'm about to lose my job for the money I went to spend. But I didn't. The girl was also very greedy, because she wanted a lot of things, and she was with her so she could get all the things. She was buying her all these name brand clothes and everything, and that's what she wanted. So she was just with her and living the life until the life went down. And then she got mad. But again, if you weren't so eager to, that's what my mom and my dad always say, stop taking things from people. You don't know what you're doing. Say no sometimes. She had said no, should have been in a better place. But that's what it's teaching you. Live a life of integrity. Things are going to come at you. People are going to give you all the offers. If God says, that one is not good, leave it alone. Because when you get caught up in it, you could end up losing everything you've worked hard for. For what? For a fraudulent situation to make yourself look like you are what you're not? No. You have value. You don't need to do all that. I mean, we're just talking, and even in all of the self, when I do a lot of the trainings and teachings and the books and everything, and you try to, how to make sure you're successful in business and all that good stuff. And one thing they tell you is sometimes the rich people are the ones that don't look rich. They don't go about flaunting. When you have, you don't need to flaunt for everybody to see. So usually when I see people doing a lot of flaunting, I'm like, no, probably you don't have what you say you have, because you're just too much about looking the part. When you are something, you don't need to look the part. You just know. You'd be like, I don't need to know. First of all, for me, if you have the money, I don't want nobody knowing I have the money, because they're going to come to ask for things and want everything I have. And I don't want you to know. You don't need to know. Okay? Just as long as I know and I'm taking care of my bills, and we're fine. Because when you tell people, they're going to come for your stuff. Whether they want to steal it, whether they want to beg something from you, whether they're always about something, they never want. And that's why I tell people, if you want people to love you for you, stop telling them what you have. Like you want some people want to buy, and that's what she was doing. She was trying to buy friends. So she would, when she got the friends, she would give them, even in the hotels, she'd tip everybody 100. I'm telling you this stuff, but it's so hilarious. But it was true, and that's what got me. I'm like, this actually happened. She would just tip the people in the hotel $100 bills to do this and do that for her. Give me the best room, give me the best table, give me all, and she just tipped $100 per person. She was dropping $100 bills like it was $1, and she was giving it to them, and they would give her anything she wanted, and she was. Just the $100 bill, this because one of the people in the hotel became her friend. She started collecting the $100 bills and was almost, she had thousands of dollars. Because she said she wanted to be a film director. So she said, I'm going to take this money and help start my film career, because that's what she wanted to do. Thousands of dollars just with the tip that girl was giving you. The tips. So people would do whatever you want. And so people like that control. So if I give you money, do whatever I want, and so you'll be my friend. So you'll do whatever I want because you want to be around me for my money. Why do you want people to be around you for what you have? You need people to be around you for being authentically you and love you for being you and not what you have. So when you have that mentality and you get that, don't be mad when you get it, because that's what you went for. Always be authentic in everything you do. And like I was telling you, they said, most people make a lot of money, but they're not necessarily rich in their net wealth, because they're spending it on all these different things and they're not keeping it. So he said, and when you spend less, you keep what you have. That's how you build wealth. So he said, a lot of people that may not have the $1 million cars and all that are usually the richer people than the people who have the cars, because they're spending so much, they don't have anything left. So not everybody that's rich, you're going to know who they are, because some people don't need people to know don't need people to know their wealth. Their wealth is not their identity. Their wealth is what they have. See, that's the thing right there. Your identity is not in what you do, not in things you have. It's in who God created you to be. That's why I'm promoting the empowered value in you. Does not need a thing to make it bigger. It's that big. So when you know who you are, you don't need to be about trying to flaunt what you have and what you don't have. I don't need you to know what I have. I am who I am by the grace of God. And that is what is going to speak for itself. And a lot of people, they're not comfortable with themselves enough. They want to have all these different things to let people know I don't need you to know who I am. I am happy with me because God has revealed to me my empowered value. It's in me and it's in you. So understand that and thrive in that and bask in that. And everything God has for you will come to you. But when you try to flaunt too much and you don't really have it, then you're actually devaluing yourself. And so that's why I tell people integrity empowers you 24/7. Walk in it. Refuse to leave it alone. If there's one thing you're going to hold on to is integrity. Hold on to it like it's a Gucci bag. If you want to name brand it, Louis bag, because I've always told myself that one day I'm gonna treat myself to a Louis bag. That's not going to be a gift to myself. Treat it like it's a Louis bag and hold on to it and flaunt it. That's what you flaunt, your empowered value. And that does not diminish people, that uplifts people, that uplifts you, and it uplifts everyone around you. Integrity that empowers. So I hope that's ministering to you, because this weekend, that just hit me. I was like, oh my God, I have to share this, because a lot of young people are out there trying to be what they're not. Just learn. You have all these different tools that can make you more successful, teach you how to be financially free and all these good things, and learn it. But don't forget your integrity. Because no matter if you get all this stuff and you lose your integrity, you lose it all. And that's what that little girl found out. She was in jail and sitting there, go, oh my God. She was trying to tell people how to be glamorous. She was trying to tell this girl, like her outfit was not, what do you wear? I mean, she loved the clothes, but because she lost her way, she devalued herself. So she was in prison with all this intelligence and all this stuff she could do great things with. Understand your value and live a life of integrity. Okay, here comes our little pointers now. Living a life of integrity empowers you, first of all. Living a life of integrity empowers you. First of all, it allows you to have confidence to walk in your purpose. When you walk with integrity, you have confidence. That's one thing. When you're not walking upright and you know there's something shady and somebody could come to confiscate everything you have in a minute, you're not confident. You're looking over your back 24/7. You're like, oh, okay. Every minute you're just expecting something to drop. But when you live a life of integrity, you're just walking confident in your purpose. Say, God, show me what you want me to do today. Show me where you want me to go today. I know you got something for me today. So I'm just walking with you in my purpose. You're confident. That's another thing. But the thing is, she had confidence, but it was a confidence that wasn't real. Because it was, I don't know if she believed the hype. I don't know what it was. But when you walk in, that's what that told me. When you walk in confidence, it allows people to see you in a different light, a different perspective. But you have to have confidence in the real thing, in who God has created you to be, not in, well, if I do this, I can be famous and people will like me. The more people I have around me, that means I'm more, that means I'm more valuable. That means people like me so much. That means I'm better because all these people, that's not what makes you valuable. What makes you valuable is what's inside. God gave you that, your integrity. It shows forth every time you do what God has called you to do. I have this here up here, but hey, we're going to work with it today. What's going on? Okay, number 2, it empowers you by enabling people to be confident about you. So not only are you confident to walk in your purpose, you're now enabling people to be confident about you. They know you. They're like, I know this girl. I know this boy. This person is upstanding. If she says this, then that's what it is. You can be confident in her. They don't have to go about and say, well, I think that person's okay. You can check them out, but no, when you walk in integrity, people know this one right here, you could take whatever she says to the bank because she is walking in integrity. And it empowers people to be confident. When people are confident in you and they know that you're good for it, you're good for your word, you're good for your money, whatever it is you're good for, it makes them confident so that they can now promote you to other people. I know this person, they're good. You can trust them. You can do this with them. They can do this for you. They can do that. They're confident. But from the moment they realize, oh, I've been hoodwinked, and that's what happened to all these people. They were like, oh my God, what happened? How did we miss this? You don't want people saying that about you. You want them saying, oh my God, this person they've proved me to be right. And I'm so thankful that that person's in my life. And I'm so thankful for who they are that now I could just promote them to anybody. And I could just tell people, this one you can trust. That's what you want people to say about you. That comes to our next point, trustworthy. You want people to say they're trustworthy. You want people to say, I know if I give her something, she's going to get it done on your job, wherever you are, she's going to get it done. And no matter what, they're going to move heaven and earth to get it done. That's what you want. And it has to be a life that makes you, that when you do that, people are confident. It empowers you. It's like, oh, I know who I am. I know what I've done. I know that I'm trustworthy. I know that I have done right by this person and that person. I know, in spite of what people have done to me, I know that I am walking in integrity when it comes to that person or what I do or what I don't do. I will never do this. And that's what Joseph was. Joseph was a person of integrity. The woman tried to get him in a scam. She lied about him. And she tried to say all these devious things. But Joseph said, I know my God, and I will not go against my God for you. I don't care if you're my boss's wife. You could throw me in jail, but I'm not going to do it. And because he had that kind of lifestyle of integrity, it took him all the way to the prime minister's house. He became second in command in the entire nation because why? He walked in integrity. People could trust him. People knew who he was, and he wasn't shaky and all over the place. No. Next, it empowers you by limiting self-doubt and shame. When you have integrity, it limits your self-doubt because you know who you are. You've proven yourself in situations. You've proven that you can stand for what God said you want to stand for. And it makes you confident as a person. So now you're not just walking, because once you start going down the path that does not have integrity, then you get self-doubt about yourself. You're like, oh my God. And you get shameful and you start to cry and all these different, that's what she started to do. Her head started to go down more because now she realized she was caught. Whereas if she just lived the authentic life that she was born to live, she could have been all what she was trying to be and more. And that's what people don't get. When you try to take the shortcut, it messes you up for life. If you do it the right way and do everything you're supposed to do, she could have been there because she was a friend with the one girl and she was illiterate. She was really rich. Her parents were rich, but she told her, I did not want to get caught up on my dad's coattails. I wanted to do it on my own. So she went to a magazine and she built her magazine and she did all this stuff and she was authentically rich. And that's what she was trying to be by going about it the wrong way. Because she was saying her daddy's going to send her money and all that kind of stuff. The girl was like, well, why is your daddy sending me? Why can't you just work and become rich? Not knowing she didn't have any daddy with no money. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. If you work hard, she could have been that without all the drama and nobody would take it away from her. But instead of working hard, she chose leave the shortcuts alone. Work hard and do it the right way. And then you'll have it and no one could take it from you. Next, it empowers you with what? Accountability. You are accountable. You live a life of accountability. You're not afraid to be accountable to people. And then people can be accountable to you too, because they know that you're good for it. You want people, you don't want, some people want to be so shady, they want to do it. Why you got to look on the back? Let them look. My thing is, if you want to look, because everything here is straight up. And that's why you always, sometimes, why do I have people have to tell me what to do? And sometimes people have to tell you what the people need to give you advice. You need to be able to take advice. And sometimes it's a good thing because the Bible says in the company of counselors is safety. I forgot but that's kind of what it says. When you have people around you that are speaking into you, it helps keep you safe. Because first of all, you've talked to people and they know you and they know what you want to do. So they can verify it with other people. And then you can get different points of view. So now you're like, okay. So you have different ways to go, different avenues to take, and that can keep you from going the wrong way. Accountability. And then it empowers you by what? Boosting your productivity and innovation. So now that you're empowered and you have a life of integrity and you're confident, now you feel confident to produce stuff and you feel confident to be innovative and creative because you know who you are and people are trusting you and you trust yourself and you know that what you're going to do is going to impact people positively and you're not about the shady mess. So it encourages you, okay, I can do this. I can do that. I can do it. I mean, there's nothing that's stopping me because you have the right mentality and the right idea and you're doing things from the right place. Your heart is in the right place. You're being motivated by a good heart. Integrity empowers you. Then a life of integrity empowers others. You boost the self-esteem of others when you're living in integrity. When you're living in integrity, you're now empowered by knowing that you did what's right. Now you want people to do what's right as well. Now you want to help show them how to go the right way. Now you want to boost their self-esteem because it's all about getting things done, having the right impact, and being a blessing to others. That's what people of integrity do. They care about others. They want others to succeed just like they are succeeding. Next, it gives them confidence to be who he or she was called to be. When you live a life of integrity, you empower others and you give them confidence to be who he or she was called to be. You're telling them you could do this. And you're showing them how to do it the right way. And that's an important thing. That's what coaching is about. And even when you go to psychologists or counselors or whatever, that's what you're showing people how to do things the right way because you've experienced it. You know what you've done. You know the process you've gone through and you're confident in yourself. So now you say, I can now pass on this information to you. And I want you to be the best that God wants you to be. Don't take the shortcuts. Don't feel that you have to please people or you have to be this or you have to be that. Just be yourself. Then you boost others' happiness and joy. You're boosting people's joy. Now you can do this. You're a great person. God has called you to be this. And you're now making them into people that first other people want to be around and you want to be around because everybody around me now is cheery and happy and joyful because they're empowered. They're not looking over their backs. They're not being shady. They're not being, something that they're not and then hoping that nobody finds out. No, be you and walk with your head held up high because that's how you're supposed to be. That's what God created you to be. Boost the happiness and joy in others. Be the joyful, the joy connector, the happy connector. I don't know what you want to call it. When they come around you, they're supposed to be like, okay, now here comes not the life of the party, but here comes the joy booster, the happiness booster. You are going to boost people into their best lives because why? You feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you're living in your purpose, you're walking in integrity. Now you can boost others. That's why I said empowered value always empowers value. When people don't want to empower value, they don't feel empowered in their value. And it shows a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. And then you boost others' innovation and productivity. You're not just being productive and innovative by yourself. You're not boosting people. Now you can do this now. Come on. Do you want to join me in this so we can create some stuff? We can create some impact in the earth. Now you're bringing others along with you for the ride because you're confident in what you're doing. You're confident in where you're going. You know what's going on. You don't feel weak or depressed and all that. You say, I know I'm living right. And if anybody comes to how you call that? To check me, I can check them because I know I'm doing what God wants me to do. That's what people who are walking in integrity, that's what they look like. That's what they do. Next, living a life of integrity promotes true success, not fakeration, not wannabes, true success. Success that cannot be taken away. If you gain money, it should not be, you cannot, somebody come up and say, well, that's my money. If they try to do it and they're not in the correct place, then you can take it in the court and say, excuse me, you're not taking what's mine. See, when you know what you do and you're doing it the right way, then you can fight for what you have. But when you don't, it's like, oh, I'm not even sure if that's mine because I just stole it. That's not even a healthy situation. That's not even a wise situation. You're like, there's nothing you have that you can keep because it's not yours. That's why you do it the right way. So it cannot be taken away. I always tell people that. Anything you do that people can come and take away, I mean, you shouldn't be doing it because you messed up. Next, and on the promote success, authentic results, that is not results that are not tainted by illegal activities. True success creates authentic results that are not tainted by illegal activities. So now she created all this stuff. She had this wonderful idea for a foundation. I'm not sure if that'd be my idea, but that was hers. And it was catchy and people loved it. But it was illegal. So they did all this work and they were almost at it. Boom. Integrity. When they went to fact check, this is not funny, y'all, but this is, I can't, I mean, I thought this thing was not real, but the thing is real. When they went to check, and the man said, everything, they want to give it the money, they've okayed it, but they need to investigate, to go home and check on your dad and the bank to make sure that the funds you said your dad's going to give you is real, and we can get that money, and it's able to back you up as collateral so you can get that deal. When he said that, her whole face dropped. she went and she was playing this tennis, and she got drunk, and she was playing tennis and crying because she realized, oops, I got caught. I can take it all the way there, but if they send investigators to investigate the family, there ain't no money. Do things the right way. Cannot be tainted by legal act. Anytime you see something that's shady, leave it alone and walk away. I tell people, best you work hard and it may take a longer time, but it's going to be yours. And I know that hands-on, because I have all these little businesses, and I'm like, Lord, it may take a little while, but I'm going to do it the right way, because I refuse to work this hard for somebody to come and take it from me. Now, that's a hot mess. So that's why I can understand the process. Do it the right way every time. Next, promotes true success. Success that impacts without failure or fear. Success that impacts without failure or fear, because remember, the Bible says, the perfect love casteth out all fear. So when you have a success and you're always afraid and you're fearful, and it's because you're not walking in love. And when you steal from people, what is that? You're not walking in love. That's the main thing right there. If you're defrauding people and they find out that you took their money and all that, that's not walking in love. You don't care about them. You're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. So when you have a lack of love, what you're going to find? Failure and fear. So you're walking around scared because, you know, if they find out who I am, Lord help me, Jesus. True success impacts without failure or fear. Now we're going to have living a life of integrity. What? Truly elevates. One, it elevates one to be successful and sound in their operations. It elevates you to a place where you're successful and sound. Your organization is sound. Your family is sound. Your job is sound. Everything is sound in this operation. You're doing your due diligence. You're doing your research. You're making sure everything's tight. Like I tell people, make it tight and right. When you do that, you're truly elevating people. So anybody that's elevated don't have to hear in the news, oh my God, she did this, and then have to doubt everything you did. And then they're probably doubting themselves because they're like, well, if she's like this and she helped me, then I must be messed up too. All these different things. True integrity truly elevates. Then truly elevates others without having to take away anything. You're truly elevating others without having to take away anything. When they're elevated, don't feel like, oh, are you coming to them for money? Oh, are you coming to them to get this from them? Oh, are you coming to them to get that from them? No, they're truly elevated. Their lives are on a whole different plane. They're now living their best lives, and it's all because you chose to be integrous in how you dealt with them, in how you taught them, in how you mentored them. You chose to make sure that their lives were authentically elevated. So now they don't have to worry, well, if this person messed up, to anybody coming after her or come after me? No, you don't want that. You want a life that's truly elevated, and you want to truly elevate others. Okay, number 5. Living a life of integrity truly builds up. It builds up homes. It builds up families. It builds up your self-esteem. Oh my God. You're walking and you're not afraid because you know who you are. And you know that God's got your back because you're living right. It truly builds up your business. It truly builds up your relationships, your marriages, your children, your friends. They don't have to look at you and be like her friend got who? She went with her on a trip that she was supposed to pay for because she invited them. When they went to pay, they couldn't, whatever, she always has these cards. Oh, it's this one's not working, that one. Okay, well, hold on, let me give you another card. So she painted the card, all the cards with them. So they're like, well, what's going to happen? The lady said, y'all don't pay. We're going to, these men are coming to get you, because they were in, I think it was Morocco, which is like one of those Arab situations. The men were going to put her in jail. And everybody got scared. Everyone's crying. So the girl said, okay, well, use my card and just have it as a hold, because Anna said people are going to send money for her, wherever they're coming from. As a hold. She never got the cards, and then she gave her jobs card as a hold. Never got the cards, $62,000 on the cards, and nobody to pay it. Job is threatening her. They're about to bring her to court. because they said she worked with Anna to defraud the company because they went on a private trip. But these are the things. So now your relationships are messed up. Her friends are looking crazy. Her friends about to go to jail because of her. But she keeps on doing the thing because she still, it's something you're looking for. And that's something we read in the scripture today about people are thirsting after God. The woman at the well, she was thirsty looking for life. She didn't know that life was in God. And when people go after things in life looking to fill a void, instead of going to God, that's what they'll do. You're looking for identity. You think that fame's going to do it, that money's going to do it. All these things, it's not it. It's God. So that's why you can have the multimillionaires who really do it the right. And some of them really get the money the right way. But then they kill themselves. Why? Because the money didn't bring the happiness they were looking for. The money never fills the void. God created us for what? For him to fill the void. Just like I always told about the Jingle Jangle movie that I love. For him, and no one's going to do it but him. So you better make sure you put him on the pedestal, because if you don't, you're always going to be looking for something to fill the void. And that's what she did. But nothing can fill it but God. Oh, we run out of time now. Truly builds up people, truly builds up organizations, living a life of integrity. Next, living a life of integrity promotes giving. And it promotes giving and eliminates selfishness and theft. Living a life of integrity promotes giving and enjoys seeing others succeed. Living a life of integrity promotes giving and creates an authentic environment guided by love. It's all about love. And that's whenever you have these things, it's a lack of love, for God is love. You can only do things like that to people if you're not operating in love. When you're operating in love, you can't do and steal from people and defraud people. Living a life of integrity promotes giving and helps eliminate fear and corruption. It puts you on a whole different plane. Nobody's afraid, nobody's doing crazy, because we're walking in integrity. And finally, living a life of integrity promotes giving that stimulates productivity. Every time you see integrity and giving, productivity is coming right behind it, because everybody's free now to be creative, to do great things, because their purpose, their motivations are in the right place. So now whatever they do, it's now changing. You have people changing things all over the place. Live a life of integrity. Now we're going to do our action plan. We got 2 minutes now. We have our questions. Get your paper out and start writing. First question, am I living a life of integrity? Am I living a life of integrity? Now you're going to write these questions down. We can't go through them today because we don't have much time, but you can answer them after. Next, what motivates what I do? And that's something we have to check all the time. Because even if you're living a life of integrity, sometimes with different things going on, your motivations can get skewed. So it's good to always do this analysis with yourself every day, every month, whatever it is that you do. Take the time to do it. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, I forgot about that. Next question, am I authentically me? Am I authentically me? Next question, what would my friends say about my daily actions? What would my friends say about my daily actions? Next question, what would God say about my daily actions? Now that's taken all the way now to the word, the brass tacks. What would God say about my daily actions if he was right here? Next question, do my actions promote what God says about me? Do my actions promote what God says about me? Next question, what is my plan of action to improve on the areas that need improvement? What is my plan of action to improve on the areas that need improvement? Okay, so I hope you got all these questions. We don't have time to answer them today, but you do that at home, do your work and get it done so you can be in the place that God wants you to be. He has great plans for you. He has great things he wants to do, but you have to know that you're worth it. You're valuable and you are valued in the earth. So go forth and spread that value and do what God has called you to do. We want to thank you for being with us today. We want to thank you for sharing your time with us and allowing us to be in your homes. And I just want to hope that everything you do this week, remember to live a life of integrity. Refuse to live a life that's not what God has called you to be. Refuse to live a life that's not integrity. I don't care what people say, what they don't say. God's way is the best. He made us. He knows what makes us tick. He knows how to sustain us. So if you have a lack and a void in your life, don't go filling it with friends and drugs and partying and want to be famous and money. Go to God. Let him fill it. And then he will help you make the money, and you won't have to lose it, because now your motivations are right. You're looking to him as your source, and you're using whatever he gives you to help impact people and fulfill your purpose on the earth. I want to thank you for being with us. Continue to enjoy this week. Continue to be who God has called you to be. Check out our Empowered Value Forum courses on the favorofagreatgod.com website. We're going to end with the promo for that, and continue, just seek to help people, because I am realizing that we need to know our value and we need to walk in it. And that's what Empowered Value Forum course is all about. We will thank you for being with us. Continue to enjoy God. And remember what? To continue to have Fava Conversations. Bye-bye.